Peace, family. This is kind of an impromptu live. I don't know how many people I'm going to get in here today. I ain't going to be on here too long. I'm a little bit under the weather, but just wanted to put out a quick video for the family and discuss some topics and current events. And the first thing I want to jump into, real quick, right off the bat, is should foundational Black Americans participate in the voting process? And truth be told, I don't think we should. What do we got to participate in? Neither party had the Black agenda. And yeah, I might like some of Trump's policies regarding locking down the border and getting rid of all these illegal undocumented immigrants. But other than that, what have we really got to vote for as foundational Black Americans? On the one hand, you got Trump, and on the other hand, you got Kamala Harris, none of which I feel are good for foundational Black American society nor culture. Kamala Harris has got policies that directly harms foundational Black Americans, and Trump got no good policies, if you ask me, neither. I just seen something that Kamala Harris has got something. I'm gonna show the video of that later, where she's trying to like censor social media. Social media already censored. So what are you trying to censor if it's already censored? You just trying to take people's voice piece away altogether, period. You know what I mean? That's insane, for her to try to call herself censoring social media. That's beyond me. But I want to talk about some of the policies that, some of the things that both parties have. I think Trump, has good policies on locking down the border and, dealing with this mass immigration thing. But that's not enough for me to get out there and vote and support Trump. He's a stone cold racist, white supremacist, if you ask me. But on the other hand, we got Kamala Harris, and what she trying to do is, her and her regime, that Democratic regime, they trying to, turn our kids into, questioning a sexual identity, putting all this, dumping all this rainbow gang stuff onto our kids to get our kids confused, this, that, and the other. And I don't respect that neither. And, another thing what Kamala Harris is doing is flooding the zone with all this mass immigration. You know what I mean? She's in favor of that. And that's hurting foundational Black Americans as a whole. You know what I mean? We can't support that. And I just think she got a lot of, policies. She was locking people up when she was out there in San Francisco, I believe, California, when she was the district attorney, the DA, or whatever she was out there. She was locking several Black folks up unjustly, mothers, just trying to having to take off of work to take their kids to the hospital, and get them treated. And she's sitting there locking them up, for her kids not attending school when in all actuality, the kid had a sickness, sickle cell. So it's just not in our favor. It's rigged. And I'm in favor of us as foundational Black Americans. Maybe we need to get our own political party, start a Black grassroots party that will serve our needs and interests, start getting some money together and strategizing and, getting on code around that so we can, build up our own politicians and put people in there that will really have our best interests in mind. But I got some audio and video of what Kamala Harris is actually trying to do with censoring social media. I want to pull that up and, let her condemn herself in her own words. No, not that.
Only spent a few weeks behind them.
Let me see. Just a second, family. I'm trying to pull this up. I'm a little bit under the weather. I get bad sinus problems, you know what I mean? And I was actually supposed to be going to get surgery to remove these nasal polyps, they call it, I got. But, I was mad hype off of it, thinking I was going to go get this particular surgery. Come to find out, they rescheduled it because I'm so congested. I ain't been able to get no sleep. It's waking me up periodically throughout the night. So I got to go tend to this surgery, here coming soon to get rid of these nasal polyps. But let me pull this up real quick, family. I digress. But if you know anything about like something with your nose or breathing, that's extremely uncomfortable when you get things like that going on. Shit, where's it at? Okay, like videos. Shit. Here we go. This is this wicked agenda she wants to push.
The media websites to understand their
Fair
power.
use, fair use.
They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has to stop.
See, basically what she wants to do is, remove people's mouthpiece. Things is already censored on social media. I put up videos all the time on TikTok and on YouTube. YouTube would just, censor the video altogether, but let it stay up. But, TikTok, they'll remove my video altogether. So what does she really want to censor? They just want their voice being the only voice being heard. And this is very dangerous for them to be pushing this kind of agenda, for their voice to be the only voice heard, because they don't want people to form and, correlate original thoughts in their mind. And, I'm not in favor of this. This is a wicked agenda they trying to push.
Okay, right away.
Yeah.
There's no way to misconstrue that.
What does that mean?
Oversight and regulation for free speech is ridiculous.
Yeah, totally.
Just that alone, there's no way to misconstrue that, right? Mm-hmm. What she was saying is what I was thinking she was saying. She was saying she wants government oversight and regulation for social media. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
And Joe Rogan is a white supremacist, if you ask me, but he's speaking out against Kamala Harris. I stand with him on this, from not wanting this agenda, pushing them, trying to censor social media, because when they censor social media, their message is the only message that's heard at that point.
It's crazy for anyone to want it, because if the only reason you want it, right, is because you agree with the ideological bent of the platform, wait until someone else is in charge of it, or wait until there's a different government in charge.
It's also saying that the very thing that Mark Zuckerberg regrets should be happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's essentially saying, why should they have different rules for Facebook than they do for Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what rules? Like,
what rules?
We don't have rules. We have First Amendment rights of free speech.
And we don't even really got free speech as it is. They censor us so heavily on social media. You can't put up posts, and if you put them up sometimes, they just take them down, claiming that it goes against the guidelines. But the guidelines are what? Who's creating these guidelines? Social media is just so heavily censored. They just don't want people to have original thoughts, if you ask me. And this is very dangerous, because in that case, they're the only ones pushing, the message that they want to push. You know what I mean? They ain't letting people, think for themselves. And that's kind of like a robotic society in which you have people, just adhering to your rules and going along, just to get along, going along with the program, where people don't have no say so in it. You know what I mean? And they only are able to have one message out there. And I don't rock with this, nor do I support it. Kamala Harris has got a lot of wicked agendas, and neither one of these particular parties, Trump included, got no black agenda. And some black people are running around with this narrative now, that they're going to be saved by either of these political parties. We're not going to be saved as black people, foundational black Americans, by either of these political parties. You know what I mean? If we want saving, like I always say, we got to do it for ourselves. We might need to start building up our own grassroots politicians, putting some money together where they pushing our agendas so we can get up there and really get things moving for our people, because none of these parties really have a black agenda laid out on the table. You know what I mean? And they acting like they don't want to give us our reparations, but our reparations is going to have to be, allocated. It's going to have to be given, because we keeping our foot on the gas pedal. We ain't really asking. We demanding those reparations be allocated to foundational black Americans. But the thing with that is they really don't want to give those reparations. They ain't in favor of it, because they know we as foundational black Americans, we're going to do phenomenal things with that money, start building our own institutions, where we putting brothers and sisters on, doing business in the community. And we as black Americans got a $3 trillion spending power, I believe, And if we take all that money out of their institutions, this is what they scared of, us getting on code and doing business with brothers and sisters, good business, and, building ourselves up where it can, rival their businesses and institutions that they have. And this is why they don't want to do it, because if they thought we would mess the bag up, because people always say this narrative, I hear this a lot on social media, well, you're going to buy rims and Jordans and clothes, this, that, and the other. If they really thought we was going to buy Jordans, rims, and clothes, they would have been gave it to us. You know what I mean? They would have been done the right thing and came up off them reparations. But the thing is, you might have some people that might mess the money up, but in large part, me included, we're going to be using that money to build institutions to benefit our people and put our people in them positions. And this is what they scared of, foundational black Americans getting that leg up and putting our people on and doing business outside of their institutions and having businesses that will rival their institutions. And another thing, getting back to that Kamala Harris, and should black people, foundational Black Americans participate in the voting process, which I don't think we do till we come up with a Black grassroots party, or somebody got a real Black agenda laid out on the table. If anybody remembers, Kamala Harris, she pushes several wicked agendas, that Democratic regime, because she was going around the world trying to turn people on to the Rainbow Gang, getting people to sign up for that, in these other countries. When she had her world tour just a little bit ago, she was going around to all these particular countries and, trying to sign people up to get on board with the Rainbow Gang. And I don't respect that, because they trying to push this agenda to the kids. You know what I mean? Adults going to do what they want to do, but now when you push it to the kids, this kind of agenda, them questioning their sexual identities, which they want to do. They trying to put her VP that she got running with her was trying to put tampons in the boys' bathrooms. And when you do this is done by design. This is done to have those kids question their sexual identities. And I don't rock with Trump nor Harris, because none of them going to save Black people, nor should we be expecting it, because some Black folks that run around thinking that, either of these political parties is going to save us, they sadly mistaken, and I know Trump is a stone cold racist and he got no Black agenda. But the only thing I do agree with him on is locking down the border and stopping all this mass immigration that they flooding the zone with. And we're getting hit with that the most in foundational Black American communities. They doing that to directly undermine us and our claim to reparations, if you ask me. But just because I agree with him on his stance on immigration and locking down the borders and things like that, that's not enough for me to get out there and vote for either of these parties, Trump nor Kamala Harris. So I'm sitting this thing out, because we need a real Black agenda. It's about far time we as FBAs get our just due and get that massive leg up. And I'm in favor of sitting this thing out, which I am going to be doing, because I don't want to pick the lesser of two evils. So I'll just sit it out. You know what I mean? But moving right along. Has anybody heard the brother, DJ Clark Kent, had died of colon cancer? That's crazy. He produced for the likes of Biggie, Jay-Z, and he was a DJ also, and Mariah Carey. But our brother, DJ Clark Kent, has passed away. He was battling, they say, with this colon cancer for about 3 years. And he's now passed away due to it. So, yeah, he's passed away. So, RIP DJ Clark Kent. What else I want to touch on? Abercrombie and Fitch CEO. I forget his name. He was a CEO for Abercrombie and Fitch, like 80 years old. And he was charged with, doing sexual acts with men, like, having a casting couch where he's, coercing these men into having sex against their will and stuff like that. And he's now been charged up. And I got the video and the audio of it. And, he's out on bail, $10 million, I believe, bail they let him out on, but he got the complexion for the protection. And he's basically kind of charged up what they're trying to charge Diddy with. And Diddy came with $50 million for bail, even though, I don't agree with neither of these parties' life, either of these guys' lifestyle. Why is it that, Diddy was accused of, doing the same thing in hindsight, and y'all wouldn't let Diddy get out on 50 million, but y'all let this white man get out on $10 million bail. That's because they got the complexion for the protection. And they play the game of I'm white and I say so, in a system that's ran by systematic racism, white supremacy. So I got the audio and the video of this, and we're going to walk through and talk about it. Fair use. I think we should vote to remove these two illegals out of the country. Vote for Trump. Yeah, but I can't get with voting for Trump, though, family, because he ain't got no Black agenda laid out on the table. I need something tangible allocated to foundational Black Americans. So I really can't get with the narrative of voting for Trump. While I do like his policy on locking down the border, that's not enough to make me, sway the needle for me to move and to want to vote for him, though. But I respect anybody's opinion, though, but I won't be voting. You know what I mean? Because they got to have a Black agenda, and neither party got a Black agenda for me. And I think that us holding the vote will be a strategic move, because if we hold the vote as foundational Black Americans, they got to look and account for why ain't Black people voting. You know what I mean? And, when they account for it, they know why we're not voting, because they failed to produce them tangible that we want in the form of cash reparations. But I'm going to talk about this Abercrombie and Fitch thing. I digress. Let me find it. Just a second, family. Shit. Where is it at? Oh, it's on YouTube. Hold on. Just a second. I'm going to pull up this Abercrombie and Fitch. Dude was charged with running a casting couch, like coercing man. I guess he was telling them, like, you know, you get down with me on the sexual tip, and, you know, you'll get a job in Abercrombie and Fitch, be able to model this, that, or the other. Which I don't agree with the lifestyle of doing that, you know, but to each his own. But I'm just making the point that Diddy is accused of the same thing, and Diddy offered $50 million to get out, and they denied his bail. This white man comes through with $10 million, they give him bail. You know, if that ain't white supremacy, I don't know what is. Fair use.
Partner have been arrested on charges of running a prostitution and international sex trafficking business following a 2-year-long BBC investigation. The FBI began looking into the claims that Mike Jeffries and his partner Matthew Smith sexually exploited and abused men at events they hosted in their New York residences and hotels around the world. Lawyers for both...
See, when they say his partner, I guess that was his sexual partner and his business partner, and they was accused of like running a casting couch and just exploiting men for their own needs and interests.
Men and a third man who's been arrested have previously denied any wrongdoing. They'll appear in court on Friday. Rihanna Croxford broke the story that led to the FBI's initial investigation. Here's her report.
Mike Jeffries, the mogul behind a global fashion brand. His vision made billions for Abercrombie and Fitch, drawing in teenagers with provocative ads like these. He stepped down in 2014 after running the company for 2 decades. He's now facing criminal charges.
To anyone who thinks they can exploit and coerce others by using the so-called casting couch system, this case should serve as a warning. Prepare to trade that couch for a bed in federal prison.
The BBC spent 2 years investigating allegations of sexual exploitation, unearthing evidence spanning nearly a decade. After we broadcast our report last year, the US authorities began their own investigation. This morning, the FBI arrested the former fashion boss and his British partner in Florida. Several men told the BBC...
Both him and his partner out now on bail. They both posted bail, and you know, Sean P. Diddy Combs, you know, he's accused of basically the same things, you know, coercing men into sexual activities. And P. Diddy came with $50 million to try to get out. He was denied, you know, and this white man was let out because he got the complexion for the protection. And, you know, P. Diddy really pissed some people off. He pissed that Diageo liquor brand off. So that's why they really hell-bent on, you know, nailing P. Diddy to the cross, you know what I mean? Because you can't, in my opinion, coerce no grown-ass man into doing nothing he don't want to do, you know what I mean? You might tell them they ain't going to work, and, you know, they might be blackballed in the industry, so to speak, but you can't, you know, coerce no grown-ass men into doing nothing they don't want to do, you know? P. Diddy, in my opinion, the only thing he was really guilty of was being a freak, you know? Anything other than that, you know, if people just out to get a bag and, you know, him pissing somebody off, that big wig liquor company he pissed off, that Diageo, because I think they hell bent, and they got a lot of power players up in that company, you know, that is trying to nail Diddy to the cross for that. But let's continue. Okay, here we go.
They were abused at events they hosted in major cities around the world.
I think he's a deviant. I think he's a predator. And I don't think that's what the public has seen.
I was overwhelmed. I've never seen anything like this.
What I'd like to talk about is being lied to, tricked, and traded like a commodity.
Evidence gathered by the BBC found there was a highly organised operation involving this middleman, James Jacobson, now also arrested. In the past few months, I've spoken with more men who attended these events, 20 in total. Some told me they were tricked and abused. Others that they were injected with drugs. A lawyer for Mr. Jeffries told the BBC, "We will respond in detail to the allegations after the indictment is unsealed and when appropriate, but plan to do so in the courthouse."
Yeah, these men, they charged up with these sexual acts, but they out on bail now. And if you ask me, they just going to get a slap on the wrist because they got the complexion for the protection. Because, you know, in the system that we in under racism, white supremacy, they look out and protect their own, you know. So these guys ain't gonna get nothing but a slap on the wrist. But P. Diddy, on the other hand, unfortunately, the way it's looking, he might get nailed to the cross, you know, offering up $50 million and you still deny bail, saying he's a flight risk, this, that, or the other, when ain't nowhere in the world that he could go and, you know, not be spotted out. You know, he ain't no damn flight risk if you ask me. You know, they just doing this to, you know, condemn a black man in the eyes of the public. No, we ain't waiting on reparations. We demanding reparations. No, we ain't waiting on the sidelines, family, but this is a strategic move. We've been voting for years, you know, and neither of these parties is going to do nothing. They got no black agenda, but you can do what you want. You know what I mean? I'm not telling people what to do. I'm just, you know, I'm codifying around not voting and being strategic with my vote because I need something. You know, my ancestors fought to make America the great place that everybody could come to and what she is. And, you know, it's by far time that foundational black Americans get their just due and that massive leg up. So I ain't voting because I believe that is a strategic move. It's a chess move, and they're going to have to account why they losing the black base, you know, simple and plain. You know, if enough black people, you know, really sit this thing out, you know, and stop getting in their mind that they got to vote, you know, when ain't nobody really addressing our needs and our issues, you know, because Donald Trump ain't going to be no savior for black people. Some black people look at Donald Trump as if he's going to be the second coming of Christ, which he's not. And on the other hand, they look at Kamala Harris, you know, that she going to do something for black people because she bring out a few celebrities, entertainers, or talk about reparations, in which she just kicks the can on. She just talks about it, you know, that to basically, you know, make black folks think they getting something from her. In all actuality, she ain't nothing but a instrument of white supremacy along with Trump. So I ain't in favor of neither of these two candidates. I'm sitting the thing out. But let me continue. What else I want to talk about? Yeah, our young sister by the name of Josephine Cunningham, 3 years old, she was unalived by a white supremacist that was messing with her mom, you know, and this is a crazy one. He did some very vile and, you know, hideous things to our young sister, you know, sexually assaulted her, and then tried to clean up the act he done with Clorox wipes, and then stuffed the Clorox wipes inside of her. But he got his just due. He was up there in I forget the name of the prison, but I got the audio and the video of it, so we're going to talk about it later. But the brothers got him in prison. You know, the brothers got him because he wasn't in prison but a month, and then he got unalived, you know, and good riddance, you know. And that's a sweet deal for me, knowing that, you know, brothers got him and, you know, did some wicked things to him and unalived him, you know, because you can't go around just, you know, doing whatever you please. And if you ask me, this wasn't nothing but a stone cold white supremacist, you know, that was messing with her mom. And her mom only knew this dude for about a week and then brought him in the house. And her mom is complicit in it too as well, because you don't just invite a dude in your house after not even knowing him. You take time to know him. And truth be told, a lot of people don't even bring people around their kids once they first meet them. They take like at least a year for them to, to know who you're dealing with, because you don't know who you bringing around your kids. You know, she should have protected this young sister a little bit more, if you ask me. I got the audio and the video on this, and we're going to talk about it. Fair use. Let me see. Where the heck is that at? I think it's on TikTok. I think this is it. Yeah. Fair use.
We are not surprised that
Fair
Robert
use.
Fisher died at the Elmira Correctional Facility this week.
Fisher only spent a few weeks behind
Elmira Correctional Facility. I believe that's in like upstate New York. I like to think the brothers got his ass, and that's a sweet deal for me, knowing that the brothers got retaliation on that ass for his wicked and devilish deeds. But let's continue.
Hours after he was just convicted of murdering and raping little Josephina Cunningham. She was just 3 years old.
They say basically what happened was, like, the mom was dealing with this dude, only knew him for about a week, and brought him into the house. And she woke up one morning, and like early in the morning, maybe about 2-3 in the morning, and seen he wasn't in the bed with her, you know. And when she came out in the living room, she found him on the couch laying butt ass naked, and she threw like a cover over him. She didn't think nothing of it. He was looking at his phone, and she goes back and lay in the bed, you know, and then the next morning, I guess, she wakes up and goes into her daughter's room and finds her daughter like foaming from the mouth, removes the cover, and finds all kind of blood, and she been sexually assaulted, this, that, and the other. Crazy, family. But this guy got it exactly what he deserves, getting unalived in prison, because if you ask me, he ain't nothing but a piece of shit.
His death comes 6 weeks after he was just sentenced to 20 years to life in prison for Josephina Cunningham's death. He pled guilty to raping and killing little Josephina, here on your screen, in Rensselaer in July 2023. The details of Josephina's attack are horrific. In court, we learn Fisher drugged Josephina before raping her. Then
I guess he stuck some kind of anxiety medication into her sippy cup and gave that to her.
Tried to cover it up, and what he'd done by taking Clorox wipes and scrubbing her face. He scrubbed her face so hard that he burned the pigment right off her face. Chief Amigletti says
he scrubbed her face so damn hard he burned the pigment off of her face, and then he took to try to cover up the evidence of these Clorox wipes. He shoved these damn Clorox wipes into our young sister. So this piece of shit got everything he deserved, if you ask me. But let's continue.
To make sure he wants to make sure everyone knows of the terrible things Fisher did to Josephina. Did you expect this death to come?
We didn't not expect it, right? It's a horrific crime. Everybody knows what he did. So we didn't expect him to have a smooth time in prison.
Rensselaer police say they are not surprised.
Yeah, I like to think the brothers got him. You know, the mom just moved him in there. She didn't even not move. I don't know if she moved him in or not, but she was messing with him, brought him right into the household after a week of knowing this man. She ain't know this man. So the mom is complicit too in this thing as well. You know what I mean? But he wasn't in jail but a month. And I like to think the brothers got his ass and unalived him for this wicked stuff he did to our young sister, you know, and may she rest in peace. You know what I mean? Because she didn't deserve that. And he wasn't nothing but a white supremacist, if you ask me, you know. Because some people get it confused that just because they land, you know, some black people get it confused that just because they land with a white person, that white person still ain't a racist white supremacist. Just because you land with a white person don't mean they ain't got anti-black views. They might just be laying with you for the thrill of the hunt. You know, that don't mean that they still ain't racist, if you ask me, you know. And this mom ain't nothing but a bed wench, you know, trying to bed wench it up. And unfortunately, her daughter paid for this sad story, you know what I mean? And hopefully it did work out the way in all actuality, you know, with him getting unalive, you know, that's good. That's a sweet deal for me. So, you know, I like to think the brothers got him, and, you know, good riddance. You know, the world is rid of one less piece of shit. You know, we got one less piece of shit walking around in the world, if you ask me. But let me find this other story. Damn phone. What else I want to touch on? Oh, let me get into it, family. LIL Durk. I just posted this. Shout out to the brothers. Yeah, shout out to the brothers. Virgo Venom. Yeah, shout out to the brothers. I like to think the brothers got his ass. You know, he was up there in Elmira. So, you know, a lot of brothers, when they hear stuff like this coming through the jail, you know, they ain't rocking with that. You know, they going to be immediately on him. So, you know, they knew he was a white supremacist, and, you know, they knew his case. They knew he did this to a young sister, and they, you know, took care of business. And I salute to the brothers on that, who cleaned him up and got him up out of here. We got rid of one less piece of shit garbage we got walking around in this world. But let's continue. Let me find the LIL Durk thing. Yeah, LIL Durk has been charged for murder for hire, family. You know, and it's sad, though, in all actuality, because, like, brothers spend their whole lives building up themselves, you know, to work at something, you become something, and then you get charged, you know, with a crime like this. You know, all that work goes out the window. You know, ain't no exit plan in the streets. You know, it's either going to end up two ways. I always say that, jail or death. You know, that's the only two things that come from it. And now LIL Durk is charged up with murder for hire. They said what he tried to do was unalive Quando Rondo, and he actually killed his cousin or something like that. You know, this is what they allegedly, you know what I mean? And he was given the keys to some cities down there in Illinois, you know, and one of the mayors took the key back. The other brother you know, he donated a lot to his campaign. So the other brother, he really wasn't, you know, he said he gonna wait to see how this thing plays out. It just shows you that when you ride it high on that hog, another thing that, you know, you'll have a lot of people rocking with you, but then when the chips go down, nobody's there. You see how quick that female mayor, you know, one of the mayors that took the key to the city back, she was so quick to do that. But let me show you this, family.
Your family struggles.
Fair use. Damn commercial plan. I don't want them to flag the video for having a commercial plan. Flag the video, I mean. Here we go.
Winner LIL Durk is being held behind bars in South Florida, charged in a murder for hire plot back in 2022.
The FBI says he was arrested while trying to flee the country. Investigators believe LIL Durk put out a hit on another rapper, Quando Rondo, in retaliation for the earlier murder of Chicago rapper King Von. Rondo's cousin also... Yeah, Quando Rondo, I think his bodyguard or something was involved with the murder of King Von. So they trying to make it as like it was a retaliation for that LIL Durk put the hit out on Quando Rondo, you know. And they say allegedly somebody that was in, I came across another video on TikTok that said somebody that was in LIL Durk's camp might have been wearing a wire around him, somebody that he thought was down with him. And this just shows you that you got to watch the company you keep, because everybody that, you know, claim they down for you, they might not be down for you at all, you know. But let's continue. So died in a shooting at a Los Angeles gas station caught on camera. Several of LIL Durk's associates have also been arrested in connection with this same plot. Last week, LIL Durk was celebrated by two West suburban mayors. They even gave the rapper keys to their villages and partnered with his foundation.
Now, after his arrest, one of those mayors is backtracking. Our Charlie DeMar has the story from Bellwood.
The brother didn't even get convicted in this. The mayor backtracked and took that key to the city back quick, fast, and in a hurry. But let's continue.
The mayor here in Bellwood says he won't take back the key to his village until the legal process.
The brother said he ain't taking it back. Not yet. He wants to see how it turned out.
The mayor
I respect that.
No time and has already withdrawn the key to her community. Durk Banks, or LIL Durk, was honored and celebrated last week with keys to the villages of Bellwood and Broadview.
And so on behalf of the village of Broadview, we are honored to present this key to the city to Durk Banks Neighborhood Heroes.
Both mayors were on hand for the ceremony and took time to pose for pictures. A partnership with the Rappers Foundation was announced in front of students from both communities.
This is a momentous occasion to have LIL Durk with us in our communities. We wanted to give another round of applause.
But the symbolic gesture was met with backlash even before news of LIL Durk's latest arrest on murder for hire charges.
So are we glorifying that, or are we saying that that's okay? He's not even from this, he's from the South Side.
Broadview Mayor Katrina Thompson defended her decision to give LIL Durk the key to the village at a board meeting earlier this week.
I am a mayor, and I'm proud to have made that connection.
It just doesn't send the best message to our residents, to our community.
Angela Patterson is running for mayor in Broadview. Janelle Moreland is the current village clerk in Bellwood and a mayoral candidate.
You know, so what about the people that have been active in our communities, that have done some great things in our communities?
After LIL Durk was arrested in Florida, Broadview's mayor withdrew the honor, saying in part, as mayor, protecting Broadview's interests and upholding the values of residents is job number one.
I do think it's too late. I think we should have not given him the key from the very beginning.
Bellwood's mayor says he was surprised to learn of LIL Durk's arrest, but is not ready to take away the key, saying we live in the United States of America, where the accused is innocent until proven guilty.
You think Mayor Harvey should have taken the key back?
Yeah, the brother didn't even get, you know, proven guilty yet, and they so quick to condemn him, you know what I mean? And she snatched those keys back quick, fast, and in a hurry. You know, at least let the legal process, you know, work itself out to see, you know, what's actually even going on, because this is still new. So they don't know either way, you know, what's going on now. You know, I don't know if the brother did it or not, but it's just a sad story to me, because brothers and sisters, you know, work so hard to get to achieve that kind of level, especially if you Black in America, you know, a foundational Black American lineage. It's so hard to make it up to that level, because we got all this systematic white supremacy and injustice that, you know, they flood the zone with. So you make it up to that status, and, you know, to have it all snatched away from you, because now a lot of his money is going to go to the legal process, hiring good attorneys, this, that, and the other. But let's continue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. At least it would show my concern for my community, right? At least it would show, like, I don't condone this.
Both suburban mayors declined an on-camera interview. Reporting in Bellwood, Charlie DeMar, CBS News, Chicago.
Lil Durk donated $150,000 to Mayor Brandon Johnson's campaign, and when the mayor was asked if he would return the money, this is what he said.
What will you do with the money? Well, as I said, right now we have allegations, right, that he has not been tried.
The mayor went on to say Lil Durk has been instrumental in helping children in Chicago.
For the second time,
I believe he probably helps the community out, Lil Durk. I don't know, but I don't even know if he's guilty or not. It's just a sad story. I wanted to touch it because it's a case of what we have when you have somebody coming from the streets that work so hard to build themselves up, and they still got attachments to the streets, because in all actuality, he probably still got some hood attachments, and you're implicated on things like this. It's just a sad, unfortunate set of circumstances because brothers work so hard and, putting in blood, sweat, and tears to build yourself up and to have it snatched, and most likely you're going to give back that money to the system anyway. You know what I mean? That works so hard to suppress you. You got to give it back now to lawyers, this, that, and the other. And, it just shows you that there ain't no exit plan to the streets, in all actuality. It ends up, in prison or death. Those are the only two options. So, it's best just to make smart moves and be, aware of your surroundings, because he's also been implemented in FBG Duck's murder. FBG Duck's mom just took out a civil lawsuit against Lil Durk, King Von's estate, I believe, the Doze and Gabbana store down there in Chicago's Gold Coast, and the security camera company, because they say it was something with the security camera that they had on that Doze and Gabbana store. And they saying that he had something to do with that. Allegedly, his mom is suing the estate of King Von and Lil Durk's estate. It's just a sad set of circumstances. I hate to see, brothers, build themselves up, work their whole lives, and it to be all snatched away. And sometimes it's due to our own foolish mistakes, truth be told. We got to look and examine ourselves, and watch the company we keep and the moves we make, because one little move, one slip up can be your last slip up. And sometimes you get no do-overs in life. You got to keep that in your mind. One mistake, it could be that costly that you lose it all. And they said Lil Durk has beat a murder charge before with King Von. He got off. And he ain't going to get too many chances like that, because they're going to look at him as a problem, in the system, and they're going, work to bring him down. Unfortunately, he's going to lose all them fortunes, and it's going to go right back into the hands of the white power structure. You know what I mean? In all actuality, just a sad set of circumstances. And, we got to see how this thing turns out, because I don't know if he's guilty or not, truth be told. But just a sad set of circumstances. Like I said, I'm a little bit under the weather. I just wanted to tap in real quick with the family and talk about a few things. And I'm going to start trying to do a little bit more live streams. It's just now I'm battling with this heavy congestion. I got some nasal polyps that, truth be told, I got to get rid of. And I'm going to be going into surgery for that a little bit. I was supposed to go in, coming up here soon on the 31st, but I was hype about it. And then, the doctor had to move the date back and said they're going to push it to somewhere like the 18th. So we had to see how that turned out, because I'm really congested right now, my nasal, and I ain't really getting no sleep. So, I just wanted to come, in here and tap in with the family and put a live stream out. Hopefully everyone is going to have a safe weekend, and enjoy it, get out there and, handle your business and relax up and, take this time to, enjoy family, friends, or what have you. I just wanted to tap in with the family. And I'm about to get off of here, family. Peace.